What is up, my guys and gals? Hit that like, give us a comment, subscribe to the channel. Sixers are up 1-0 and people are still bitching. Let's get it going.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Phlite Zone. It is a good time to be alive if you're a Sixers fan, and it is a shitty time to be alive if you're a Phillies fan. 8-2 right now in Miami, top of the eighth. Bryce is sitting on the bench talking to our ace, Zach Wheeler. What is going on in Philadelphia, Evan? Before we get started on the show, just remember our show is sponsored by Body Check Wellness. Body Check Wellness is a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in extracts, blends, gummies, topicals, you name it, they have it. Use our promo code A2D and you get 20% off your order. Let's get to this. Let's get to the most important topic at hand. The Philadelphia 76ers took care of business against a very, very high-scoring team in the Washington Wizards. Their two stars combined for 12 turnovers. Each of them had 6, Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. I don't care if you don't call Russell Westbrook a star. He's a star. He's a superstar in this league. He's just in a rough patch right now. But our anchor on defense, our most important player on the team, Ben Simmons, he was in the middle of most of those turnovers by Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. Our guy, my guy, Ben Simmons, Pro Ben, Jimmy Rodwaller, Pro Ben, and Pro Sixers. Let me just get this started. I am a Sixers fan first. I think Ben Simmons is crucial in the Sixers' success, and that's why I defend him the way I do. I don't want him to be run out of town like other people have been run out of town in previous years, previous months. So let me just get started by saying that. And while I say this, I am not about the numbers. Most of the time, it's people with agendas. It's people that hate that go off in numbers. So let me give all the haters a couple of numbers real quick. Ben Simmons had 15 assists and 2 turnovers. 15 assists and 2 turnovers. 7 offensive rebounds. That's 7 more chances that he gave us on the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And guess what? I had no idea what his number was worth throughout that game yesterday. Because I was watching the game. Mm-hmm. As I'm watching the game, I'm realizing, holy shit, he's putting some people open right now. He's opening up the floor for Seth in the third quarter. He's opening up the floor for Tobias off the dribble. He's opening up the floor for Tobias for catch and shoot jumpers. He's opening up the floor, getting the ball to Joe in the post. I'm not looking at the freaking stat box. I'm not looking at the box score. But when I see him, and I see him play as an outstanding game as he did yesterday, and then I look at the box score and see 15 assists, 15 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 assist, or 1 steal, 1 block, plus and minus, plus 18. Second best plus minus on the team behind Joe, the MVP. That's a special game by Ben Simmons. And people still have something to say about him. And that brings me to the poll. I will be critical of Ben Simmons until he becomes a consistent scorer. And we will dive into this game throughout the show. Evan, I'm going to let you have your field day for a little bit, and then I'm going to come in and roast you.
All right.
Here's the poll. I will be critical of Ben Simmons until he becomes a consistent scorer. Agree or disagree?
First and foremost, I am a Ben slanderer. This is the only reason I am on this podcast. Right off the bat, I want to say that Ben Simmons, I wasn't terribly mad at his game. He did have a good game defensively. And he caused turnovers, and he just got everyone all riled up, right? Mm-hmm. But he had a lot more opportunities to score, which you need to be scoring as a point guard. I just want to thank Tobias Harris for kind of saving Ben's day, I guess I could say. Saving Ben's day yesterday or the other day. But, yeah, it wasn't bad overall, Jimmy. I'll give it to him. But 6 points. I mean, Trae Young's what, 6'2", and he almost got a triple double.
Now you're comparing Ben to Trae Young.
It's against a better defense. 32 points against a better defense. But
And Trae Young's game is he's a scorer, and that's all he does is score. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not Ben's game. You were asking Ben to do something that he is average at. And an average basketball player at that height should be scoring 15 points, 16 points a game, which he did this year. What did he average? 14 points?
14.6 or something like that. Yeah, you're right.
All right. And it was a down year. It was a year where he scored the least amount of points in his career. But guess what? The team still got the number 1 seed against a Nets squad, against a broken Celtics squad, against a Bucks squad, this was their year. And we beat out all those guys against the Heat squad that's coming off the freaking finals, a finals appearance in Disney World.
Yep.
And we still got the 1 seed.
Jamie, I just think that our offense isn't on the level that is championship worthy. I think our defense is. I think it's honestly the best defense I've seen throughout my whole life for the Sixers this year. I could say that. I mean, it was crazy during the game. We could have lost that game easily if our guys didn't hit their shots. It really could have went either way, honestly. But I will be critical of Ben Simmons no matter what. You know me.
Mm-hmm. I know you, and that's what got Carson Wentz run out of town. I
want him to be successful. I want him to hit his free throws. 0 from 6 from the line. Thank you, Brian. I think that will be like. Remember a couple years ago, it was just Hack Ben, and
I was at one of those games before. Yeah,
it was against the Wizards. It was against the Wizards a few years ago, and he just.
I specifically remember that game. He was 16 for 30 from the line. Ended up scoring 32 points. Had his usual 10 assists, 10 rebound game. Guess what? We won the game.
Yeah. All I'm saying is to this, it's the Wizards. It's not the Nets. You're going to have to score more points. You're going to have to score more points when it counts. And like I said, it wasn't a terrible game by Ben offensively when you look at the assists and the offensive rebounds he had. And some of the spacing, I guess you guys could say.
7 offensive rebounds. 7 new possessions that he made yesterday, that he created yesterday.
But don't forget the little like shot he had like 2 feet from the rim that he absolutely just missed 2 times in a row.
Okay. And
there's a few little hook shots he had that were a little.
And that's the thing. There's a few little things here and there. He went 0 for 6 from the field. He scored only 6 total points. It's the 3 main things that you guys say that just cause just unwanted conversation.
I know. Dude, I know. But a great point guard would be able to do that. If he wants to be great, he has to do those little things.
If I told you that a great point guard shuts down the opposing point guard, gives you 15 assists, and only turns the ball over 2 times, are you taking that or are you not taking that?
I don't know, Jimmy.
No names have to be involved.
15 rebounds, 15 assists is great and all. Like
he had more offensive rebounds than Joe had combined.
Okay.
Like this isn't. I'm not going to slander the MVP of the league, but the MVP of the league, who's 7'3", averaging 30 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, our freaking point guard had more offensive rebounds than Joe had defensive rebounds. It's just, come on.
All right. Like I said, he didn't have a bad game. It's just in the future, we will need to see more from Ben. He'll need to score more points.
Oh, my God.
There's
already people.
Tobias Harris will not be there every night to score, 38 points he had? He won't be able to do that every single night.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
I got you.
And EEC, a great point guard is somebody who can at least have somewhat of a shot, be able to be consistent on the line. And honestly, that's about it. And just Ben isn't really a point guard. And I feel like people forget about this. He's just a tall power forward who knows how to pass the ball. I mean,
he's Draymond Green.
Different opinions on what a point guard can be, but Ben's game doesn't really relate to that. I don't know.
All right, we got a lot of people chiming in early, but John and I were talking about this earlier today, or just about an hour ago. He was comparing him to Draymond Green. Now, I think Ben Simmons has a much higher ceiling than Draymond Green. I already think Ben Simmons has already hit his floor, which is Draymond Green.
Yeah,
I think no matter what, if he just plays like this for the rest of his career and he gets 1 or 2 rings with us, he had a more successful career than Draymond Green, hypothetically. But he is 24 years old, just turned 24 in January. He has plenty more years to develop.
Yep.
He ran down that floor yesterday at the end of the quarter. He showed you he had no fear in pulling up from the three. I know it was an awful looking shot, but that shows you that he has no fear in taking it.
Jimmy,
He's done that on multiple occasions this year.
Different. That's different. The one he did was just a throw up at the end. That was come on, Jimmy. That was not. You can't. That wasn't. If he was confident, if he was actually confident, he would do that when there wasn't 0.2 seconds on the clock to shoot the ball. That's the only reason he's going to shoot it. And we've seen it all this year. The last time Ben hit was it this year? Did Ben hit a three this year? Who was it against? Was it the Knicks or something like that in the beginning of the year?
When he made a meaningless three at the end of the game?
I don't even want to count that one, but I will.
That was the Cavs game. And then
was there one he just straight up was in the corner and there was time left on the clock where he hit a three?
Yeah, I forget what team.
I forget too.
Yeah.
But we just even two of those a game would be huge.
Here's my question, and I'm going to pose that later in the show. I want to get to some of the comments. Pop, I can understand the concern because we feel Ben needs to score more against the Bucks and Nets, but I'll take this game one performance against the Wizards with just 10 points instead. Yeah, it's pointless to just always say, "Oh, he's not going to be able to do this again. He's not going to get away with this against the Bucks and Nets." Who fucking cares? It's game one in the first round against a pitiful team. They're starting Raul Neto.
That's who was guarding him, though, on the offensive side. That's
okay. And we won the game. We scored 125 points. We beat them playing their game.
Jimmy,
we beat them playing their game. And we could do that against any other team.
Neto. Come on.
But we have been able to play and adjust to other team styles and beat other teams beating their personal styles. We could beat the Knicks in a 95-90 game because we've done it before this year. We can obviously beat the Wizards by scoring over 125 points because we just did it. We could outscore the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets beat us once this year? I know it was when they were shorthanded, but it doesn't matter. We've had the Knicks number. Now, the Bucks, on the other hand, that's a different story. It's because both of our stars, I don't think we played them once.
No.
With both Ben and Joe on the floor. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I know the Heat are freaking we just can't beat Miami teams. But we'll get there when we get there. Pop makes a great point. It is literally game one against the Wizards. They are the 8th seed for a reason. They had to play in the play-in tournament for a reason.
Okay, Jay.
Would you rather this is my question. Would you rather Ben shoot us out of games or not shoot at all? Because guys who shoot their teams out of games, Russell Westbrook.
I mean, I'm just asking for a few. I'm not asking for 40 shots a game like Russell does.
Yes, but when he does shoot, they tend to go in sometimes, and then they tend to not go in. But
according to you, his shot's wet. So
it is wet. But yesterday it was not wet. it was towards the end of the half. But I don't understand what all the bitching's about when he said that third quarter was magical. The beginning of the first, when the offense was clicking, magical. They made the first 5 shots, and then they just went cold because they couldn't hit three-pointer, which is understandable. They hadn't played in a week. And then the third quarter comes around. They're in that run with about 6 minutes going into the third quarter. They just went off. And that was in part of Ben's energy on defense. And that was in part to Seth Curry dropping 15 points in the second half. That was in part of Danny Green hitting threes. You went up 8. They called a timeout. They never clawed back in.
Yep.
I don't want Ben to turn into one of those guys that shoots his team out of games. Trae Young has done it. Luka does it. But those guys are shooting 32% from 3. Do you want Ben shooting 32% from 3, or do you want him dropping 15 assists?
I don't know, Jimmy. I really don't know.
I think you do know, because that was a perfectly put up game yesterday, even when Joe was out in foul trouble. Imagine if Joe wasn't in foul trouble. That third quarter would have never even needed to happen. And then I understand about all the people bitching about the free throws in the comments, but guess what? We fucking won the game. And if he did make those 3 throws at the end, whoopty fucking do. He had 12 points. Is that what you guys wanted? You wanted him to have a triple double? Because I know a lot of people just want fucking stats.
All right, Jimmy. All right, go off.
I'm just saying.
Go on.
I'm just saying.
But no, we are lucky that Tobias Harris had the game he had because
my
we
God.
weren't scoring over 115 points. He
Yeah.
didn't have a game like that.
But
And Ben would have half the assists.
is Tobias going to be like that throughout the whole playoffs when Joe is off the floor?
I don't know. Well, that's a thing we'll see. Him and Simmons when Joe is off the floor that's going to be very important. So's Curry and Ben.
What up, Amanda? When Embiid is on the floor, no one is guarding Harris. No one one-on-one. He has shown he can create for himself, yeah. And also, Tobias benefits when Ben is on the floor as well, when Joe is off. And that's definitely not that's fact. That's not fiction. Because when both of them are off the floor, what's our record? What's our winning percentage? It's not good. It's not good at all.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Because Tobias's penetration game can completely be eliminated if Ben is off the floor because they could just clog the lane.
Mm-hmm.
Ben can drive one side of the lane, kick it out to Tobias. Tobias can do his work. ISO, he can pull up. He's a 3-level scorer.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Simmons knows that. Ben and Tobias have grown chemistry throughout this year, especially when Joe was out that month. So,
yep. Yeah, we'll see with that. We'll see because Ben has those games, but Ben also has the games where he'll score 20 a game. I know you said it doesn't really matter how much he scores, but at the end of the day,
as long as we win,
as long as we win and points are scored, not assists. I mean, that's stupid. It's stupid to think about and stupid to say, kind of, but it is what it is. Like he just needs to score more than 6 points.
But if we win a game by scoring 125 points, he still needs to score more than 6 points.
If we're having a bad game defensively and we're getting outscored,
well, yeah, that's when he has to kick up. But we're talking about hypothetical.
Yeah, I know. That's what we've been talking pretty much the whole show.
But would you be okay with calling him a Draymond Green? Because if he's a Draymond Green and Joel Embiid's hypothetically your Steph Curry, and I know they're not the same players, just hypothetical in the sense of big three talk. And then Tobias is your Klay Thompson. Are you okay with Ben Simmons just being the Draymond Green?
I mean, do you think Ben Simmons has a better offensive game than Draymond does?
Yes. Because I think Draymond can shoot you out of games. Because I think Draymond shot under 30% from three this year. You want Ben shooting under 30% from Giannis can take you out of games when it comes to shooting. And you've seen that throughout the last 3 playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'd rather have Ben giving up the ball to players that can actually shoot the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a valid point. Because if he knows that he can't shoot the ball and all this shooting is just luck that he's made at the end of quarters, and he knows that it will hurt the team if he shoots this ball because it's a kill of a possession, then I don't blame the dude.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him to shoot us out of playoff games in the semifinals, in the conference semifinals, in the conference finals. I'd rather him give the ball up to a Danny Green or a Seth Curry or your boy Furkan, who we'll talk to later. About later.
Nah.
That bench is going to hurt us.
We'll see.
If God forbid, if one of our starters gets taken out and Shake Milton or Furkan Korkmaz has to fill in that role, we're done. I'm sick of them. And I know it's only game one.
I have a question real quick for you. When you saw Seth Curry go down, what did you say to yourself? You saying maxi time? Like, what were you saying?
Yeah, 100% maxi time because, like I just said, I'm done with the Shake Milton experiment. I'm done with the Furkan Korkmaz experiment. Mm-hmm. It's just abysmal. Yeah. It's terrible. And if it's not Tyrese Maxey, then it's George Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't keep playing those guys in the playoffs. You want to talk about guys that could take you out of a game because their shooting is just abysmal?
Mm-hmm.
Those two are supposed to thrive against the fucking Wizards. Furkan had 3 shots in 3 minutes, and then he didn't go in for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Shake Milton.
He had a bad night.
A bad night. He played 3 minutes.
He had a bad 3 minutes.
Turned into a freaking ghost.
He He had a bad 3 minutes, Jimmy. I'll admit to that. Of course.
But that's what I'm saying. In January and February, when we were talking about trade deadline, trade pieces, I was 100% willing to get rid of everybody on our bench with the exception of Maxey and Matisse to get a legitimate player that somebody was trying to dump for the salary. And we didn't. We didn't want to mortgage the future, which fucking kills me because we'll never know if Joe will have another season like this.
I think he will, but
I think he will too, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say,
Yeah.
especially with all the I don't even want to bring up the I word. The injuries just they are what they are. I don't want to call him prone, but I'll just skip that. I don't feel like wasting my time. What doesn't matter if he scores 6 points if he's responsible for 50? Bamboo Brad just hit a home run. Top of the ninth. 3-9. Phillies are losing to the Mets.
Brad Miller?
Yeah.
Wow.
If he's responsible for 50, you too worried about points scored when that's not his role. It's exactly, Marky. Exactly. This is what I've been saying for 5 months now. This is what I've been saying for 3 years now. It's not his role. And if that turns into his role, are we going to turn into the Bucks? We can't make it to the finals?
Dude, I'm just nervous about I kept saying I said it with Harris. Like, if Harris doesn't have a good night like this and we're not playing that great defensively, what role is Ben going to play after that? If the guys aren't hitting their own shots, what is Ben going to do?
It's called a bad night, and we probably have to take that out because Ben's doing his role, finding the opponent. It's what Ben's been doing the past 2 years without shooters. How many times did he pass all the analytical stats that everybody wants to go into, except for when it goes in Ben's favor? When we talk about how many open threes was missed last year off of a Ben Simmons pass, he led the league in them, apparently, allegedly. I don't know. And you want to talk about the ultimate Ben Simmons hater? Is this your boy?
No.
Sixers should sign Kwame Brown. Brown can block shots in the paint and get offensive rebounds while dropping 6 points. Okay, dude. Okay.
I like this guy.
Hakeem, you can't be serious. You can't be comparing Kwame Brown to Ben Simmons. Because Kwame Brown can't shut down Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook or dogs like those.
All right. I just want to see, when the time comes, can Ben Simmons lock down KD or can he lock up Harden? That's really going to be the biggest thing because, like you said, Westbrook, he shoots himself out of games.
Yeah.
Like he was getting locked up by Danny Green too.
Yeah.
Really watched. He was, and it was just absolutely disgusting his shooting. So we'll see with that one.
All right, I just turned off the Phillies because the Islanders and Penguins are in overtime. This has been my favorite series, Brian. The game 3, I think it was last Thursday. It was it was such a chippy game between these two teams. But yeah, I turned off the Phillies. They're done. I can't stand the Phillies. I'm almost hating them as much as I hate the Eagles. Here's Mr. Corkmoss. What's up, Greg? All right, Takeem, that's good. You disagree to the poll. Yeah, and any logical Sixers fan will disagree to this poll. That's just. I feel like that's just common sense. So, I don't know. Here's a question. Do you want to see more of? Do you want Tyrese Maxey to be that first guy off the bench as opposed to Shake Milton? If it's because it seems as if those guys are that one role where Milton will come into the game. Would you rather Maxey take that? Because I feel like they're kind of like the same role coming off the bench. Maxey's just the 1A type of player, I guess. I totally believe that Milton is done. I think it's time for him to ride the bench until there's a blowout win, and Maxey should be taking that role.
I mean, I don't really know yet. like we said, we talked about it the last few months and few weeks about if he's actually ready for playoffs. He only played. I don't even think he played 10 minutes. Maybe even played only 5 minutes. But
Yeah.
EEC brings up a
Yeah.
good point. Like Ish Smith, like
I forgot how fucking fast Ish
he's
Smith
quick.
was.
He's quick. But yeah, I trust Maxey. He's like the hotter player than Milton is right now. Milton hasn't. He had a good half of the season beginning, but
Yeah, we thought he was going to be the sixth man of the year.
we really thought that. But like Maxey's coming off of huge games, but yet again, he's not. He didn't have those minutes that Milton had. So,
but I think it's time for Maxey to start getting those minutes. Especially like I said last week. Now is the time to experiment to see if Ben. It's just the little preliminaries. If Tyrese Maxey and Ben Simmons can play together, this is the perfect time against an awful Let's be honest, they're an awful team. Yeah. In reality, we really should sweep them, but I don't think sweeps are the thing to do or the thing that's prevalent nowadays in the NBA. You got to win the series in 5. You have to, and the next 2 wins, or the last win, two of your next 3 wins, they have to be blowouts. They have to be.
Yep, you got to show something. You just got to show something.
Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, that game sucked because we didn't win by more than 10 points the other day or yesterday, because it's unrealistic. The Wizards have still been playing. We haven't played in a week, but now the rust is off. Now you're playing a horrible team. You've blown out horrible teams like this throughout the season. No need to fuck around with them. Just eliminate them. Come on. There we go. And then that gives you more minutes to figure out which guys deserve the bench minutes. And Matisse Thybulle had a hell of a game yesterday.
He did.
I know he didn't put up any points, and nobody wants to talk about that, but they want to talk about Ben putting up 6. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But his defense was just scary. Like, I would not want Matisse Thybulle to be guarding me if I was ever playing basketball. I hate those types of players because all they give you is heart. All they give you is heart. And that's what – and Matisse has definitely earned his 7th man role, 8th man role, whatever the hell it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I really hope George Hill didn't have that bad of a game, but he doesn't offer still that spark. He had a few threes that he could have made that were wide open, which kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, like, that's what you're going to get when you have a George Hill, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not too, like, I wouldn't be scared of Maxey shooting threes. Like, we saw it a few times the last time he played. He didn't look bad from 3, honestly. He didn't look bad at all. I'm pretty sure he was 3 for 5 or 3 for 6 or something like that. But like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I don't know, but I just feel like the veteran. He's not a veteran, so I don't think they'll have him above Hill. So, and for defense, I mean, he's not bad. He's not a bad defender, and George Hill really can't defend someone like Ish Smith. But
yeah. This game is the Islanders Pittsburgh game right now. Game 5, crucial game in any series. Basketball, hockey, baseball. It's a turning point in any series. Hopefully, Game 5 isn't too serious in the series that we have right now.
Hopefully, we don't have one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hopefully,
I mean, I can understand if we're up 3-1.
Yeah,
we close them out in Game 5, but this has been a great series, though. Islanders Pittsburgh. Brian, you bring up a good point. What up, Don? Mavs in 6. We're gonna talk a little. We're gonna talk a little bit around the NBA because I feel like it's been a pretty intriguing opening of Game 1s.
Yep.
Both LA teams lose. I hate the Lakers so much.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
I'd be a Clippers fan before I'd be a Lakers fan at any moment.
I honestly feel like I don't even enjoy the Lakers like, at least I enjoy making fun of the Cowboys and their fans, and I enjoy like watching them just crumbling. But I
Yeah.
don't. It doesn't even bring enjoyment to me when I'm
No.
watching the Lakers, whether they're losing or winning.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely
Like
not.
they're just no fun.
They're not. They're not. Like everyone wants to get hype around, and they see like Caruso with his like lollipop, looks like it fell on the ground hair, whatever he's got going on there. And then LeBron, man, LeBron.
He was my favorite player in the NBA during like the tanking days when it was just him versus the Warriors. Like before the Warriors were the Warriors, I loved Steph, I loved Clay, and then they turned into like the Warriors. I was always a fan of the underdog, you know?
Yeah.
And when LeBron was single-handedly going against the Warriors with freaking Matthew Dellavedova as his point guard, I loved LeBron James at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just went to the Lakers. He just decided to start building his own teams and bitching about everything, bitching about his fouls, picking and choosing when he wants to talk about social things. It's just, dude, you're LeBron James. You have one of the biggest platforms in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Can you start using it like for good? You know, like it's just nothing you do is fun.
No, it's not. It's I don't know. I just hate that all that nonsense. He's a diva. He really is. And that flop the other day, that was just wow.
Yeah.
I know Embiid flopped. I know Embiid used to flop a lot, and he still does here and there. But that's like the second game it's happened in a row. This is just really.
It's on a different level. The way the way he does that, it's on a different. It's him and the Bucks. It seems like every time I watch the Bucks get every single freaking call, especially when they're playing the Sixers.
Yeah.
But the way he gets his calls, the way that he just evaded the freaking COVID protocol, and I understand that the Lakers. I understand that you can't suspend LeBron James because it takes money out of your pocket. I totally get that. But at the same time, it kind of pisses me off that if it was just if it was Matisse Thybulle would have been sitting down last game.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that's all the NBA really cares about is hardworking people's money. Everyone wants to watch LeBron. I mean, go ahead, watch LeBron. This might be a hot take, but Suns in 5. Suns in 5. Maybe even Suns sweep. I would like in heaven watching Dario Saric shit on LeBron. I would go to heaven, man. That would make me one of the happiest people. If like somehow we don't win the championship or anything like that, and watching Dario just shit on LeBron, that like I'd still have a little flare in my heart. Like it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. If they get out, there's gonna be a lot of people not watching this year. But
yeah, I guess you're right because
just all the bronze sexuals and stuff. But Ralphie, tell you to Ralphie, wow.
I mean, I feel like Ralphie understands that too. From what I've seen on the Fix, what I've seen Wednesday nights, every time I see Ralphie on with Tom and the boys and everybody, I feel like he gets that. But he's just a loyal Lakers fan. Like you can't blame a dude that's loyal. You know, at least he's not like one of those Laker fans that are also Cowboy fans and Yankee fans and basketball fans. At least he's not one of those people.
The best Lakers fans are the people who like Kobe better than LeBron. Like when LeBron came over, most people did not like it. Or not most people, but like some Lakers fans hated it. And the
loyal Laker fans did not like it at first.
Yeah, none of them. Not a lot of them did because of like Kobe's legacy and stuff all there. And that's just how it was. Not a lot of people liked him.
Yeah.
So,
and I think the Suns have this series. I think the Suns have this series in 6. I just look at them and Devin Booker's playing out of his mind.
Could have
Chris Paul is
could have had him for Ben.
I wish I had like
AD. What happened to AD?
No. I wish I had like a drop button every single time you gave me like Ben slander to just like give like a buzzer sound. Yeah.
A lunk alarm?
Something like just something. so that I could just alert everybody that you just put out a sly Ben slander.
I got one right here. When we're not talking about the Sixers, I have the one right. We got 3 for tonight, maybe 5.
Yeah,
I don't know, but AD, what's happening with AD? Do you think that the Lakers are legit playing hurt? Do you think it's just?
I don't think LeBron's playing hurt. I really don't.
Like AD though, because legit, like he doesn't look good at all. Like he was getting outplayed by DeAndre Ayton.
I don't know. I just don't think that the Lakers have enough depth. I don't think Montrezl Harrell's playing like the guy that he used to be. They got the wrong Morris twin. Alex Caruso is one of the most overrated players in the league. KCP sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have Wesley Matthews, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like they have all these guys, and then they have Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they are going to make it again. Like they got bailed out by Disney World last year, winning that fake ass NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're making it past the first round, and I could really care less.
Mm-hmm.
Like as I said before, I used to be a LeBron fan, and then he went to LA, and I just don't like the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. He's never lost in a first round series. Well, you might have to add that to his resume after this year. Who knows? And then people are gonna fire back, and that's gonna be another Jordan is better. Jordan's the GOAT debate. I'll just add him right back into it after LeMickey's championship last year.
Oh, that's an interesting take, Pop. We'll get to this question soon, Ed. But Pop just brought up a good point. If the Sixers would have won in the bubble last year, would we have classified it as fake?
All right.
I feel
here's how it is. It's way different because an atmosphere at a Lakers game and then an atmosphere at a Sixers game, 2 different places.
Mm-hmm.
If the Sixers were to win with the roster they had, with having no shooters at all,
yeah,
and just like the first year experience of some of the guys we had, and Brett Brown as our fucking coach, Brett Brown as our fucking coach, and not having any fans in the stands and having virtual people wave and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm being a hypocrite, but I just think that it would be a little bit more serious than LeBron's or than the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like the Philly, like it's just gritty and like they feed off the fans. You saw it the other day. We fed off the fans. We got
that's
better and better. It was like 11,000 fans, and Doc was saying it sounded like they had full capacity.
Yeah.
So Lakers games they're all filled with casuals every game. They might have a sold out crowd, but most of them can't even name like players from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
and I agree to everything you just said about that. Now, maybe if we actually did win that, people in our town would be saying, oh yeah, that's a legit final. That's a legit final. Yeah. But if we actually dive into it, the fact that the Heat would not have been in the finals last year if there was traveling involved, if there was full stands involved, if arenas were fully capped.
Yep.
And it's not like that's why that title was so illegitimate. The team with the best roster ended up winning. No outside sources were involved. And that's something that you have to play with. Like, look at hockey. Shit gets built off of the freaking arena in the playoffs.
It's just it's also like how you react. Because there was a lot of NBA players in the bubble that were crying and complaining about this and that. Why can't we go here? And then there's players getting suspended and stuff for like leaving the bubble. And just like it was just absolutely nonsense. It's nonsense because I mean the Flyers were so much more different. Like we had fans this year and we did worse. We did worse than we did in the bubble. It's just how you regroup and how you execute.
Yep.
When there's no fans by your side.
What's up, Brian?
And it's a thing. The Sixers and the Eagles, they can't do that. They can't execute like maybe that you can say the Sixers did it for the first half of the season, but not to the full potential it could have had if we had a full capacity.
Yeah. This game is nothing better than overtime playoff hockey. Nothing better than it.
Too many bench scrubs playing.
What do you mean? No, let's get to Edward's question.
Yeah.
How did Coach Rivers do in your opinion? I feel he going down the same road as Clippers. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is game 1, so I don't think we should overreact too much right now to that.
Mm-hmm.
But if Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz are playing against the Bucks or the Nets or the Heat per se, I mean, they can't play their playoffs are about roles. That's why Ben Simmons played an elite game yesterday, because he played his role and he played it exceptionally well. That makes an elite basketball player, not doing too much. And like I said earlier in the show, sometimes Luka does too much. Sometimes LeBron does too much. And they lose basketball games because of it.
My dad is a Furky hater, so
yeah. Well, your dad is. Right
he said bench scrubs.
Yeah,
Furk is not a scrub. Just wait until you remember that post I sent you. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, no.
One about Furkan.
I'd rather, and I say I'm a Sixers fan first. I'd rather that never happen. So.
Furkan for 3 against the Nets to
yeah.
go to the finals.
Mr. Taylor. Yeah. Furkan Korkmaz and Shake Milton can't fulfill their roles against teams that they should be excelling against. And I know it's only one game. I know the rust is on. But you can't play 3 minutes and go 0 for 3 from the 3-point line if you're Furkan Korkmaz when you're supposed to be a dead eye. Shake Milton, stop turning over the fucking ball. Okay?
He needs to be more aggressive too. I mean, I saw flashes of it, but where's the Shake that can be your dual threat? Where's the Shake that can hit the threes? Bubble Shake last year hit threes. He was the only person that could hit threes on the team. And then
what did that
being aggressive, going up to the hole, like at one point he was considered one of the best pure scorers on our team. Maybe not the best, but one of the best.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Jay.
I agree.
I agree to this, but I 100% disagree to this, because I don't even think he should be getting an opportunity anymore. Like maybe in blowouts, he'll give you a meaningless 4 for 7 from 3, and then everybody will be sucking him off again. But,
man.
But I don't understand why we continue to go down this path. Play with the 8 guys that are legit, maybe 9. It should be Dwight coming in for Joe, George Hill being your 6th man, Matisse coming in and playing defense, and then maybe Maxey if you need an offensive spark. That's it. You already have your 2 shooters out there in Danny Green and Seth Curry. Like Jay said, Seth had a solid second half. He put up a 0 spot in the first half. But
that's another thing too. Like, I'm a fan of when people get like hot, but like Danny Green and Seth, when they don't have any points going into the second quarter, like does that cause a concern for you at all, or no? I mean, they've been doing that all season. To be fair,
if we're playing the Nets or the Bucks or the Heat in a game 4, game 5 must-win situation, and they're not giving you any points, and you need to depend on Joe or Tobias or even Ben to score the basketball from the outside.
Yeah.
And they went 0 for 6 combined in the first quarter. Yeah, that's going to worry me, because you don't have anybody else coming off the bench that can hit that, because Furkan's not going to be able to do it against the Nets, the Bucks, or the Heat.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't get a lot of touches either. Like, I'm not going to say they were bad in the first quarter, but like they didn't get many touches. I think it was just Tobias Harris was just doing his thing.
Well, they opened up on fire, if you remember. They went 5 for 5
at the time. So,
but they went 5 for 5 to open up the game.
Yeah.
So the offense was clicking. It was just they were getting
giving it to the hot hand. Really,
They were getting the small ball on the offensive side. They were doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the playoffs: a solid half court set, getting the ball to the open man in the dunker position. Ben opened up the game with a layup, or I think he was the second person to score on the team. He opened up driving strong, and then he just stopped. But it's not like he disappeared from the game. I think a lot of people are mistaken, and this goes back to the poll. I'm bringing the poll again. It comes back to the poll. People, are you going to be critical of Ben Simmons until he becomes a consistent scorer? Because I'll be critical if he just disappears from games. But he was far from becoming a ghost yesterday. He did so much more than just scoring the basketball. Now, if he gives you 6, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists and doesn't play defense the way he did, that's when I'm going to have an issue with you. Yes, you need to hit your free throws, Ben. You got to hit at least one of those free throws to end the game. I would have been okay with you going 1 for 6 if it just talks about just free throws or scoring the ball, per se. Because you need to hit the free throws so that you make it a 3-possession game. Put it out of hand. But you didn't. But guess what? We still won the fucking game. So everybody get off his fucking cock.
Wow.
When Joel went to the bench, the offense got dry besides Tobias. Yeah. I mean,
if you really look at it, Tobias Harris was your Joel Embiid during that game.
Yeah. And Joe was your Tobias.
Yeah. It's really what that was. But
and Ben was your Ben.
Exactly.
Ben was your elite Ben. Ben played elite yesterday. And I don't care what anybody fucking says about it. When you get 7, when you create 7 more offensive chances for your team, you played an elite game. When your assist to turnover ratio is plus 13, you played an elite game. When your plus minus is plus 18, the second best on the team, you played an elite fucking game. Especially when the game comes down to the closing moments.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what we think about our team in general after just the game ones of each series. I know we talked about it earlier. I think the Suns will be advancing. I think the Clippers are going to pull it off against the Mavs. As much as I love Luka, I think that's going to be a hard fought series, but I think the Clippers will eventually win it in 7. The other 2 series are going to be interesting. I think the Jazz will bounce back, even though I think they're one of the most overrated teams in the league. There's no chance that they lose to the Grizzlies in a 7-game series. I think they'll win it in 6. And then what's the last series? You got the Joker, the Nuggets versus the Blazers. I think that's a toss-up. I think that series is going 7. But I think Lillard's going to come out on top of that series.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Like, no bias towards Joel Embiid and like whatever the MVP thing, but the Blazers played an interesting game the first game. They let Jokic do his thing.
Yeah.
Score as much as he wanted, but they were defending the shit out of anybody else that was on the perimeter. That wanted Aaron Gordon can't shoot a 3 for his fucking life. So they weren't really guarding him outside. So after those 2 guys or 3 guys, you only have Jokic and Aaron Gordon. Like you have no guy who can create their own shot.
Losing Jamal Murray really clipped them from being NBA championship contenders.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. And they just let Jokic do his thing offensively, but he wasn't getting those assists. He wasn't getting those assists from 3, and I just think they took advantage of that. And maybe we'll see, I guess, with the Nuggets, because they can play some sort of other game. But I really don't know what they're going to do, because they don't have a scorer.
No. They
don't have a legit scorer that can make their own shot.
They kind of remind me of the Sixers of last year.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if Dame can't beat them, it's time for Dame to seriously consider something else, because
where would you see Dame at? Where could you see Dame at?
If we didn't have Ben Simmons, I would love Damian Lillard with Joel Embiid. Yeah. But obviously,
be a dirty duo, Jokic and Dame. That'd be kind of crazy. Denver Nuggets will win it all.
He's been trolling all night. Don't listen.
Give me whatever he's having.
He was talking. I think he was talking about the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah.
A few moments ago. So I don't know what he's doing or what. Never mind.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah, Dame. I don't know, dude. He would be dirty with Jokic. Do you think he? Well, we're locked in with Tobias, so this is just going to be hypothetical. Do you think Dame would be able to play with Ben and Joe?
I think so. Ben would have to. He would play a shooting guard role. I think. I'm not sure.
Well, I think. Shit, the Lightning. Sorry, I'm just my parlay's flashing between my eyes tonight. I had the Lightning on my parlay tonight, and that's probably not going to happen. So it's fine. But I think Dame would probably be that 2 guard, playing off the ball, maybe like AI's role, because AI was always a shooting guard. Mm-hmm. He was like a shooting guard, but he also handled the ball. I think Ben, Dame, and Joe, that 30, 3 rings at least.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know where Ben would be like. I don't know what they'd run. I just don't know what they'd run if that was the case. Because obviously
they'd be like the Warriors
in the clutch time. You'd have Dame bringing up the ball.
Well, you talk about Ben would legitimately be a Draymond Green if Damian Lillard was on this roster, and I would be totally okay with that.
Ben at? Do you put Ben down
dunker role? You did what Ben did yesterday. He played the dunker role almost the whole game. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like a hybrid of what I feel like Doc Rivers yesterday perfected what Brett Brown wanted to do going into the bubble last year.
Exactly.
Only he did it without saying it. Mm-hmm. Last year, Brett was saying, "Yeah, we're gonna put Ben in the dunker role. I'm gonna grow Obama. Shake Milton's gonna be my point guard."
Just looking back, like I still feel like we would have lost terribly because just having, I don't know what they had done with Horford if they would have started him, but having Horford, Joel, and Ben, like the threes would be non-existent. That would be a great team back in like the 40s.
Horford would be playing Anthony Tolliver, aka Don Tolliver's role, and sitting in the second row of the bench if Al Horford was still on the team and I was the head coach. He would be playing Don Tolliver's role.
We really dodged a bullet. that was probably one of the best trade. That was probably the best trade this offseason.
Daryl Morey should be getting executive of the year, and I don't even think it's close. Al
Horford, what was it, like 100 and what?
Over 104. Well, 4-year, 104 mil.
Wow. Oh, wow. and then
you turn that into Danny Green.
Yeah, and now he's out for being old. Remember that? Did you see that post? And they posted that the Thunder had him out on their injury list for being old. Yeah. He wasn't hurt. He was just old.
Jay.
I think the half of it was also getting rid of Al Horford's sister. So I think
both words, Al Horford's sister or JJ Arthega 19's mom, Miss Umbrella mom. Jay, we should have got CJ instead of Seth. I mean, we traded Seth for Jay Rich, basically. I don't think the Blazers would have gotten rid of CJ.
Yeah, no.
Unless we got rid of Tobias. And right now, I'd rather have Tobias than CJ. As much as I hated on Tobias. Like, I like Tobias as a person. I hated him as a player up until this year.
Yeah.
So I think if we really wanted CJ, we probably would have had to gotten rid of Tobias, which I'm not okay with. But this is just hypothetical with the Dame, Ben, Joe talk. We would be unstoppable. Pop just said, Ben would lead the league in assists because Ben would be the Draymond Green, which I'm totally okay with. I'm totally okay with Ben Simmons being a better version of Draymond Green throughout his career. Sorry, not sorry. All right, so let's move on to the East. Obviously, the the Bucks and the Heat were in a dogfight in Game 1, and then tonight we were supposed to have a live reaction of that, but the Bucks just decided to say "fuck you, Jimmy Butler," and just drop 50 on their head in the first quarter, and it was just never a game. Right now, it's 2-0 in that series.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think that the Heat make that a competitive series. So. Yeah, I would like to think that the Heat make that a competitive series.
Mm-hmm. I don't know though.
I don't want to be biased because I love Jimmy Butler.
They match up a little weird because no one can really guard Giannis on that team because you have when they have Brook Lopez, you'll have Bam covering him. Yeah. And Jimmy Butler can't really defend Giannis because like the height difference, the size difference, it's something that can't be like. That's why the Sixers have such a big.
Yes,
no, that's why the Sixers have such a big advantage is because they have guys like Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons who are both able to defend Giannis at a high level, whereas Jimmy Butler's a great defender and stuff, but I mean, it's just not the same.
Well, the thing is, the Heat did beat the Bucks last year, so
they did.
They have the recipe because they throw 15 different defensive schemes at a team at once, like throughout the game. So that's the only thing that tries to sway me to the Heat side. And I love Jimmy Butler, so I don't want my bias to get in the way. But
Jimmy dirty.
Come on, man. Come on. I don't want my biases to get in the way. But I think I honestly think that this series is going to go to 7, and I think Game 7 is just going to be a toss-up. It depends.
And another thing last year about that was just like Tyler Herro was going off.
Yeah, but now Duncan Robinson is going off. Duncan Robinson went off in Game 1. Like any given night, any one of those guys can shoot 7 for 12 from the fucking 3-point line.
And Dragic, he's been so bad. I watched him miss like 3, like it was in the clutch. I think he missed like 3 open shots. That's really why they lost that first game. How many points did Giannis have that game? Do you know?
Game 1?
Game 1.
I don't know, but I know he had an abysmal performance field goal wise, like field goal percentage wise. I think he was like 10 for 27 or something.
Wow.
And that's what I'm talking about. Do you want Ben to give you 8 made buckets on 25 fucking shots? Or do you want him to give you 15 assists and be responsible for 52 fucking points? I'd rather him be responsible for 52 fucking points.
No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
That's what I thought.
You think Bam is overrated?
I don't think Bam is. I don't think he's overrated. I think
he's an overrated center.
I think he's a solid fit with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. But there is people like 2 years ago or a year ago they're saying Bam was better than Embiid. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Full on casual. Like
I think Bam is rated. I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated, you know?
Yeah. Would you say he's definitely top 5? He's probably the 5th best.
5th best center?
Yeah.
You got Embiid, Jokic,
Cat.
Valanciunas, Cat, and then
people
yell at us if we're missing somebody. You got Vucevic,
Gobert. I watched too much Phlite. I watched too much Phlite. Gobert.
He's definitely debatably a top 7 center. Debatably.
People wouldn't like that. People would not like that, Jimmy.
What? I'm not I like the Heat because of Jimmy Butler, but I'm a Sixers fan first. Like obviously, I'd rather have Ben Simmons than Jimmy Butler. That's basically what it came down to. Unless you want to get into the semantics of, it was Brett Brown or Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons could have made it work. Okay, but we obviously weren't firing Brett Brown, so. But I think they'll bounce back in Game 3. I think it doesn't matter how you win or how you lose. It just matters if you got the dub. So we'll see what happens in Game 3 in Miami. So we took care of that series.
Yeah. My dad thinks. My dad. His comment says, "Ja Morant, the new AI." Dad, you wish. You wish. I mean, maybe similar game style, but I think Ja Morant's overrated. Low key.
do we think
Low key, just a little.
do we think he has the legitimate shot at beating the Jazz?
I don't really
don't know.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell's been hurt, so I don't want to say it can happen. Like Donovan Mitchell can go down again. Did he play?
No, but he was bitching after the game saying that the medical staff should have let him play. So I'm assuming that he'll be back for game 2.
Yeah. But if they win again, like I'll be a little bit more intrigued. Especially when they're playing at Utah. Like, I mean, that's still a huge win for the Grizzlies, whether people think they're not.
Yeah, because the Jazz lost home court advantage.
Yeah.
And guys, please give us a like, whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're watching this from. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Jazz were the number 1 seed for a reason. Just like my reasoning for the Sixers. You're the number 1 seed for a reason. They're the number 8 seed for a reason. They were in the play-in tournament for a reason. They're not that good. You can't be losing to the 8th seed pending a catastrophic injury, you know?
Yeah.
And as much as the Memphis Grizzlies are fun to watch, they are fun to watch. I watched them throughout the whole play-in tournament. They're a fun team to watch. I just don't think they match. They have enough bodies to match up against the Utah Jazz, the best team in the league.
Do you think that same thing with the Wizards? I think the Wizards just became like a hot team and just played well against those like few bad teams at the end of the season. What's up, Chrome?
Yo, Chrome. I wish I was in Disney right now.
But no, I don't really know. It really depends on what other people think too. It can go either way.
I think the Jazz win in 6, but I wouldn't
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised. I'll be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be too surprised because the Grizzlies
you're tracing your steps. So no matter what happens, you could say that you were right?
Yeah. We'll cut actually that part out and then just say the one I had right in. But I don't know. It really could go either way. It could, Jimmy. At this point, it can happen. This is NBA playoffs. Not like hockey, but
Islanders win. My parlay's still going. Islanders win. 50 seconds in the double overtime.
Wow.
All right, now Tampa Bay needs to come back, and I might be on a roll.
2-0?
No, they're losing 3-1.
3-1.
With 4 minutes left. Yeah, my parlay's done.
How much you
I only put down $10 for the hockey line tonight. I would have won like $240. It's fine. I had a rough weekend this weekend. Ricky Fowler screwed me on his 18th hole. He was he was tied for 4th. If he would have got top 5, I would have won like $250. And then he decided to bogey last hole, so that killed me. The Knicks killed me last night. It's just so close, yet so far. But what were we talking about? We're talking about Jazz in 6. On to the next series. So I'm saying Heat, Bucks. They'll go to 7. I want to say the Bucks win that series.
I agree. I think it really. I mean, I think so. It just depends. If the Bucks win that first game, then obviously it's going to be a win for the Bucks because no team really comes back from a 3-0 lead. But the Heat are pretty good at home usually, but I don't think it's enough for the Bucks. Like I don't think it's enough to beat the Bucks. I mean, the Heat. Who did the Heat play the first round last year? And what seed were they? Weren't they the?
They were the fifth. They were
seed?
like the 4th or 5th seed.
They may have been 4th seed because weren't we like 6th seed?
We were the 6th. We were the 6th seed against the Celtics, which were the 3rd seed. I'll look it up real quick. But that's the thing. If the bubble didn't happen last year, none of that madness would have protrude. You know, that's why I just keep on saying that it was fake. Dave, I don't know about the Arizona Coyotes. I know
The Avalanche are doing well, I heard.
No, they're
No?
down. Oh yeah, they are. They are. They just swept. They just swept them. I get the
Wait, the
Avalanche
Avalanche
and the
got
Minnesota.
swept?
No, the Avalanche swept whoever they played.
Oh,
Let me look it up. Yeah, they swept the Blues.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They swept the Blues yesterday. I'm all over the place right now. Oh yeah. Let's move on to the next series. So we got Nets versus Celtics, 2-7. I think the Nets win that in 5. All three of their superstars played in Game 1, which I was shocked by. I'm shocked that Kyrie played. Shocked. Yeah, I don't think we need to talk anymore about that series.
Yeah. Wow.
And then, of course, you got the Hawks versus Knicks. Knicks were talk about the hype train.
Yeah.
All of their hopes and dreams.
That was a fun game, though.
That was a fun game.
This season, that series might go 7, honestly, because Trae Young did have an amazing game, and I don't know if Trae Young will have that same game when they play next.
Yeah,
but
talk about another guy that can shoot you out of a fucking game. Like, if you look at past championship wins, when's the last time a streaky shooter, has won an NBA Finals single-handedly by himself? It just doesn't happen. It's a team sport. It's a team sport where you need to win 16 games in postseason play.
Mm-hmm.
And asking Ben Simmons to put up these astronomical shot attempts when the team is already a number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just keep on going back to it.
Jimmy, they might be a favorite. I saw Gallinari's haircut, and I was like, I don't want to play them next round. I don't want to play them.
That was just terrible. That was just terrible.
Oh,
between him and Trae Young,
they have the worst hair in the NBA. One of the worst sets. Wow.
Well, there goes that parlay. 4-1 Florida.
Wow.
We'll try again next week, boys.
Wow.
Put on the Oilers and the Jets. And talk about another disappointment. Edmonton Oilers had a far better team or far better season than the Jets, and then they're up 4-1 in fucking the third period last night with like 8 minutes left, and the Jets end up coming back and winning in overtime. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't even know. Wow.
All right. So, what do you think between the Hawks and Knicks? I think the Knicks are going to squeak out that series, because at the end of the day, I think I'll just live by what I've been talking about all fucking season. Defense wins in the playoffs. And for that, I think the Knicks will beat out the Bombers, in the words of Brett Brown.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Hawks in 6.
Hawks in 6.
Hawks in 6.
So we're playing the Hawks in the second round? You think Trae Young's gonna outplay Ben Simmons?
I don't know, Jimmy. Really? I don't know. I know he'll have more points than him, but you don't like that. But yeah, Benny's right. Like, the Knicks don't have somebody to really go to besides Julius Randle. I mean, if you shut down Julius Randle, you had the Knicks from last year. That's really what they are. They're the Knicks from last year with Julius Randle. I don't even know what else to say about that. I
think they're the 4th seed for a reason. I think they had a great year. Their team is built for the playoffs. They have a coach who has been through the playoffs before in Tom Thibodeau. You have guys like Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson. You have Reggie Bullock. You have all these guys that have been role players on other. Like, this team is filled with a bunch of above average role players. And I think those types of teams thrive in the first round, especially if they're a 4 or 5 seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they play defense. They give up less than 100 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to have nights where Trae Young gives you 5 from 17 from 3. Or 3 from 11 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't expect Trae Young to drop 30 points per game this series. So,
no. Yeah. Well,
with that being said, I think the Knicks will win this series in 7.
7?
Which is great for us, because I think we're going to win our series in 5, so it's going to give us more rest.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then you got I do still love that we really avoided the not playing the Heat still, even though they're not really doing that well.
yeah,
And the Bucks and the Nets, I feel like people are not really thinking the Bucks has like they think the Bucks have no chance at all at beating the Nets. That's not true. I wouldn't say that's true. The Bucks defense isn't bad.
yeah. I mean, if they could go off like they went off today against the Nets, especially with the Nets playing no defense,
Yeah.
I could see Bucks winning shootouts against them. Their
Mhm.
defense is far more better than the Nets.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, it just brings me to my whole point. We went over all the series for a reason.
Mhm.
Where do you rank the Sixers closers as opposed, and by closers I mean starters plus 6-man, as
Mhm.
opposed to everybody else's? Because I think we are a legitimate top 3, top 2, maybe even the best top 6 in the league.
In the NBA or the league?
In the league. It's like
Or
the
in the East.
the whole NBA.
Yeah.
Like I think the chemistry with our team is undeniable. Everybody plays their roles.
Mhm.
Danny and Seth, when they're shooting their threes, I think we're almost unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. They're probably I'd say they're a top 2 team. I mean, it's close with the Nets, but like when you look at the Lakers not really. You look at the Jazz. The Jazz have a bunch of role players, honestly, after
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell and Rudy, but Embiid and Simmons are better than Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So that's already off the board. You got the Suns. Their duo would really be Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who are like different from Embiid and Simmons, but still, I think we would have the edge on them with
Yeah.
that. So
Because I think our role players are
maybe
better.
the Clippers. Maybe the Clippers, I'd say. Debatably, but with the way it's looking right now for the Clippers, I don't know. I mean, we have their coach from last year, so
And that depends on Pandemic P and the Claw.
yeah.
I still think it's Sixers Clippers in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That would be a really fun one. Embiid is trying to get his revenge, like or the whole Sixers team, honestly, trying to get their revenge. But
My guy's back. What's up, Carson?
Carson Wentz. That's
Do you
Carson.
miss it? Do you miss it out here in Philly, bro?
Carson Wentz burner.
Yeah, we're not talking any Eagles this week, and we're probably not talking any Eagles next week or the following week, pending any major news. June 1st is coming soon. I think the day after our next show is June 1st, and that's when you could start sending out expiring contracts or whatever. Zach Ertz might be all right, come on, Carson. Comments like those are the reason why you left town. But yeah, June 1st is when Zach Ertz can leave. June 1st is when Julio Jones can leave. That's also big news I wanted to maybe talk about. The possibility of possibly getting Julio Jones for Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
You obviously throw in some draft picks in there, sweeten up the deal, whatever it needs to be. I didn't go to school to become a general manager of the NFL Football League, but that would be very interesting. If we get Julio Jones, I might be a little excited for the Eagles.
I know we weren't going to talk about any Eagles, but I'm not so fond of Julio Jones, man.
Injuries?
Yeah. I mean, we would have to trade for him?
I think so, yeah. He said I'm out of there.
Would you mortgage our future with all those first-round picks we have for somebody who can get hurt? Like, that's just not a risk I'm willing to take.
Well, I'm not doing it for a first-round pick.
No.
Maybe do it.
I mean, that's what Atlanta wants because they still consider him to be the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, but he literally told them he's not playing there anymore. So that means Julio Jones and the other teams have the leverage. So unless it turns into a freaking what's it called?
Deshaun Watson all over again.
No.
Before Deshaun. Before whatever happened.
Yeah, Benny's point. Need that presence in the wide receiver room. Like, Who's our veteran wide receiver right now? Greg Ward, number
Ward.
19. Is number 19 our veteran presence right now? Goodwin went back to San Francisco, I believe.
Mhm.
Jackson's out. Alshon's out. Not that I want any of those veterans to poison our wide receivers' minds, but I don't know, dude. Because if you get Julio Jones, you know for a fact number 19 is calling.
Mhm.
It's not even close. Plus, you have somebody coming in and fulfilling the number 11.
Mhm.
Ain't nobody more worthy to fill in that number 11 than Julio Jones.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow.
They would never do that, Mr. Wing. And if they did, I would personally buy the plane tickets for J. Jaw and Hightower for Julio Jones.
Yeah, I will too. It'll be funded by the Flight Zone podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Send him on a Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, dude, those Spirit Airlines can be fucking brutal sometimes. Dude, you know I'm a tall dude. I'm 6'3". I've been on an airplane twice total. So it was a round trip to Fort Lauderdale one time. And it was Spirit.
Mm.
Dude, my legs were sore after that fucking flight. I was so packed in there.
You didn't get beat up or anything? No one tried to beat you up?
Nah, I was on the aisle seat, and then like right next to me was a couple of old ladies just enjoying their time.
Mhm.
They complimented me on my eyes, and then we just started having a little conversation, and then I put in my earbuds, and that was the flight.
Well, the one time I was on American Airlines, which is a pretty good airline, somebody was sleeping on my shoulder. So some random guy was, and like the flight attendant had to like wake him up. I was like, "Can you get this guy?"
But yeah, that's enough Eagles talk. I'm done with them. Until they do something bigger than signing Ryan Kerrigan, they're still on my shit list. But yeah, I think this Sixers team, I think they have the best chemistry. I think the Suns are pretty damn close.
Mhm.
But I think our role players are better than their role players. And by role players, I mean Tobias, Danny, Seth, Dwight, and Matisse.
Mhm.
And you can maybe even throw in George Hill in there.
Yeah.
But we're the number 1 seed for a reason. This is Joel Embiid's year. Ben Simmons is going to do what Ben Simmons does. And Tobias needs to give you 25 a game.
Mhm.
And if all that happens, it's house money. If we make it to the finals, it's house money.
It is.
If we make it to game 7 of the conference finals, it's house money.
Mhm. Now, so we said at the beginning of the year is Eastern Conference final or bust.
Yeah.
What do you think happens in the finals? Like, and we don't what if we don't win the finals? Do we just run it back? You think?
If we don't make it to the
Or no, if we lose in the finals.
If we lose in the finals, it depends if you want to re-sign Danny or if you want to make a splash and fill in his role somehow. I think Seth is still here for another year.
I mean, really, after Danny, like, who would you want that can have that defensive spark as well as having a consistent three-point shot?
Well, we talked about it last week. I'll bring up the free agency list again. But it's what I'm talking about. If the Blazers fail again, are they looking to build it up? Because how long are they going to be able to run with Damian Lillard until they say it's finally enough? You know?
Mhm.
So do you go out and try and make a move for Lillard? That probably means you have to get rid of Tobias.
Mhm.
Maybe Mike Conley. Like we said last week, Conley's going to be a free agent. Maybe you go after Conley. The salary cap's going to go up.
Mhm.
Maybe you could go into the luxury or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Seems like the Nets don't have a fucking salary cap.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
I know
anybody can have that defensive spark.
Well, Kawhi Leonard's on the player option, so he's going to have a choice.
He'll probably stay for another year, honestly. LA at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, after LA, where would you see Kawhi at? I only think LA, Miami, I don't see him going to New York.
Maybe Dallas with
Maybe
what the fuck is Luka?
Luka.
Maybe he goes. He's definitely not going to the Lakers. Maybe he goes to Golden State.
Hope not. I mean, the Warriors are going to be still a scary team next year.
They're going to be solid.
Can get back to it, and that's going to be actually scary because Wiggins is very underrated. People hate him so much for no reason. Honestly, I think
Jonathan hates. He calls him Andrew Briggins because he bricks everything.
It could be worse. It really could be worse. But yeah, I don't want Kawhi. Honestly, nah.
Yeah. All right. So you got Kawhi, who's on the player option, so it's going to be his choice. You got Chris Paul, who's on a player option. He's probably going to stay in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar DeRozan's going to be a free agent. Kyle Lowry's going to be a free agent. Mike Conley.
I just think Kawhi Leonard, or not Kawhi. I just think with the Kyle Lowry thing, Kyle Lowry and Seth Curry are two kind of the same players. One can run you the floor a little bit better than the other, and one can shoot particularly better than the other. But they both don't have that defensive. He's Kyle's a dog and stuff, but he's not going to give you what Danny Green gives you.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to guard the wing players like a Bradley Beal or a Devin Booker.
He's not going to be able to guard small forwards either.
Yeah,
like some small forward, they're usually 6'8".
Yeah, but Mike Conley can give you defense on 1 through 3s.
Mm-hmm.
Lonzo Ball is going to be a restricted free agent, so you're going to have to match whatever the Pelicans offer him.
Yep,
he could be I don't know. I think he's going to get paid though. Dennis Schroeder, garbage.
Yep.
You want Rashawn Holmes back?
Nah. Do we have Dwight another year or just 1 year?
He'll be back. I don't know if he's on a 1 year or not, but he'll be back.
That's good. Yeah, definitely bring him back. He's provides a lot of energy.
Dinwiddie's on a player option. Maybe sign him for the cheap. Come off the bench.
That'd be pretty cool, honestly.
I mean, Kelly Oubre, Tim Hardaway Jr. maybe. All those guys, they don't play defense.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into the bums. Oladipo can be an interesting player, pending his health.
Yeah, health. I mean, he hasn't had a healthy year in forever. So,
what do you think about Derrick Rose maybe being a 6-man? Yeah.
We got Tyrese Maxey. We don't need D Rose. You hate for this, but we all know D Rose got hurt, and it's very unfortunate. But people, please stop overrating the hell out of him. I know he's big, the big what if, but it didn't happen at the end of the day. Yeah. It happened. He got hurt. Sixers easily beat the Bulls that year. Whatever. GG's. Don't overrate him too much. A lot of people make that mistake. And it's kind of annoying.
We'll see. Hopefully those words don't come back and bite us, and he absolutely just shits in our mouths in the round 2. Because I know a lot of people have been asking who are the Sixers most likely to play in the second round. It's going to come down to the Hawks. Well, do they reseed? So will we play the lowest seed, or if
we play the lowest seed out
of everybody? So if the Heat beat the Bucks, then we'd be playing the Heat in the second round.
I think so. Oh wait, no, I don't.
Or it's still tournament style. So
I think it's still tournament style. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Already,
people you're right. Everyone says that. Everyone fucking says that. And then he gets hurt again.
I think he's a solid player, dude. I think.
Yeah, but everyone still thinks he's. As soon as he scores, it has a 20-point game. It's prime.
Look, here's another example. There's another guy that can shoot you out of a game. It's going to be my whole point throughout the whole summer, because I'm going to pat myself on the back. I think it's a great find by me, because I'll tell you one thing: if Ben Simmons is shooting threes and he's shooting 25% from the 3-point line, everybody would be shitting on him as much as they shit on him now. So pick and choose your battles. I'm okay with him giving us 15 assists, 7 offensive rebounds, and letting up 2 turnovers. And shutting down Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. And I don't care that Bradley Beal dropped fucking 32 points. Because when it was straight up against Ben Simmons, he wasn't doing shit. He was turning the ball over.
A lot of people are saying the refs versus Wizards. Fuck out of here. It was refs versus both teams, honestly, the whole time.
The third foul on Embiid? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, they botched the call when Westbrook stepped out, but it didn't really matter at the end of the day because everyone wants to talk about that. But then Westbrook went down and bricked the 3 hard as fuck. So,
I don't know why we went into because you asked me, do you want me to re-sign Danny Green? It really depends, dude.
No, I'm not too young. When I was younger, I saw D Rose play. I'm not 12, I swear.
No, I don't like the too young talk either. I hate when it gets
come on,
because first of all, we saw it live. And second of all, it's all we do in our free time because we're losers.
Yep.
Third of all, YouTube is a thing for a reason. I can't tell you how many reruns I've watched of just incredible sports moments, incredible sports games because of YouTube. YouTube's a great thing. The too young card is fucking bullshit.
We're 20 and 21 years old. Come on.
D Rose was a nightmare. He is the youngest MVP in league history. But even if he doesn't get hurt, he still shoots your team out of games. Giannis does it. Luka does it.
Yep.
I'm not slandering him. I think he's a great player, but I agree with Evan. People overrate him right now. He's not the player he used to be.
But
he's
that's
not
all
carry
I hear is every
he's
time
not going to carry the Knicks. He's not going to carry the Knicks to the promised land.
He's not even a starter. You can't even start on the Knicks. So
is he even the third best player on that team?
I don't even think so.
I mean, you got RJ Barrett, Julius. I mean,
maybe you can put him at
possibly the third best player on that team.
But I mean, if he was the third best player, they'd have him run the point. They don't.
Well, they're an interesting bunch, you know.
Who do they have running the point then?
I mean, they start off with Alfred Payton.
They have Burks. They have
Alec Burks comes off the bench too. They just have a weird lineup that Thibodeau does.
Yeah, I mean it works sometimes.
It works, but
it won't work against the contending teams.
Well, 3 of his starters only play like 15 minutes a game because you have Alec Burks quickly and Derrick Rose closing out games, and Taj Gibson closes out games when Nerlens Noel starts. It's weird.
Yeah,
but I've been trying to get to this question just for days, and people got all butthurt about Derrick Rose. Who are the Sixers most likely playing in the second round? It's either going to be the Knicks or the Hawks.
Yep.
I think the Knicks. I think the Knicks are winning in 7. I think they're built for the playoffs. They're built for those types of games, especially come Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, the most critical games in a series. They'll come out on top. They'll win in 7. They'll win in 7, and then they'll get us.
Yep. I said the Hawks, but it really could go either way. Because they're both interesting teams going into, and like nobody expected these two teams to be the seed they are right now. No one really I mean, maybe after the few years of the Hawks being just an 8th, 9th, and 10th seed. No one expected that big jump, and I think it's obviously because the Raptors and the Pacers just did absolutely trash this year, but they didn't do bad. Both teams didn't do bad, so it should be an interesting series. Yeah,
Mr. Wing, and then the Nets will play either Milwaukee or Miami. Yep. And by the looks of it, it looks like Milwaukee it definitely has the upper hand in the series right now. We'll see what happens once it goes to Miami. We'll see if the Heat can even it out, because a lot of things can happen in a Game 3 and a Game 4, especially when two teams are going at it the way that they go at it. Because Miami has had Milwaukee's number in recent games.
Yeah.
He's still on it. We said it earlier. He was the youngest MVP in league history. He's not the same player he used to be, and people overrate him because he's on the Knicks right now.
Should have won the NBA Finals.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
We should have won the NBA Finals last year too. Oh, we didn't. That was kind of funny. Like going back and looking at it, I think it was Stephen A. Smith said that we were going to win the finals that year when we brought in Horford and Richardson.
Mhm.
He said we were just because of how big our roster was.
I hated that roster from the jump.
Yeah, I really did like the Horford signing, but I more liked it just because we stole him from Boston more than him actually as a player.
That's the only reason why people liked it, because he wasn't going to be able to shut down Embiid anymore.
No, and he did shut down Embiid. He was Embiid's kryptonite for those
Even when he was on the fucking team, he was Embiid's kryptonite.
Yeah, that's very true.
That type of roster does not work nowadays.
No. It would have worked back in the 70s and the 60s, but
you want to talk about a terrible year. 2020, man. You got the Phillies COVID season. You got the Eagles just pitiful season. You got the way the Flyers lost in Game 7 against the Islanders where they didn't even show up. And then you got the Sixers fucking just terrible.
Yeah. That was so embarrassing. We couldn't even get one win. Oh, it's because we didn't have Ben.
I mean, it's true. If we had Ben, we would have had at least one. If Ben and Joe were both there, that series goes at least 6. What?
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
And if we have just Ben and not Joe, it's going at least 5 because it's happened before.
I mean, he wouldn't have created anything more because he would have been passing to shooters who can't shoot. So
we had Al Horford.
Oh, wait.
God.
No, I mean, we did have Ferk, so Jimmy should have. Yeah.
I can't with you and Ferk on court class.
I miss Jimmy Butler. I don't know. I was watching his TikTok and it was just like when grown men cry, and it just had a picture of Jimmy Butler in the Sixers. Yeah.
I mean, who has the last laugh right now? Because at the end of the day, ever since that Tatum-Fultz trade situation, we both have only 0 rings. And right now they're the 7th seed and we're the 1 seed. So Boston could go fuck off and do other things.
Yeah.
Improved athletics. I'll get to you in a second. In hindsight, Jimmy should have stayed. Hate that dude for being a baby and leaving. I mean, at the end of the day, would you rather be in Philadelphia or Miami? And would you rather have Eric Spoelstra or Brett Brown be your coach? Like,
I feel like
two easy options.
He wants to lead. He wanted to lead the team, which he wasn't gonna get when you have Embiid on the team.
I think he loved Embiid. I just think I think he would have been willing to play with Embiid, and I think he would have been willing to play with Ben. But it's just that Brett was a creep when it came to coaching. Like, he was a good guy and everything. It's just he just made boneheaded decisions in everything that involved coaching. That's why Jimmy couldn't stay here anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
I would have loved if fucking Jimmy Butler was the coach in that playoff series against the Raptors, as opposed to Brett Brown.
I mean, he was the guy in Miami, and I guess like they made it to the finals, so that's better than what we did. So at the end of the day, it kind of worked for him. But
their Disney World finals,
really, it didn't really do anything because they didn't win, and it wasn't really that close. So
their Disney World finals,
Mickey.
Jesus Christ, I can't. I want the Lakers to make it just so that we could sweep them.
Yeah, that would be nice. Wow.
Not even because I don't even like watching them in general. Even when they're suffering, I don't like watching them. Like I said in the beginning. Yeah, I want them to be done in 5 against the Suns. Also, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to watch Ralph's live reactions. See, Mr. Wing, I don't think he really had an issue in Chicago. He definitely had an issue in Minnesota, and his issue in Philly was clear. It was Brett Brown.
Mhm.
I don't think he has an issue in Miami right now.
I don't think so either.
I think they had a tough regular season just because of how deep they played into the bubble.
Mhm.
They had a lot of injuries, and they started to recover towards the end of the year. And we'll see what they can do once they go back down to Miami for the rest of the game.
And a lot, I don't know if he's that set on winning a championship. I mean, it can go either way.
No, he definitely wants to win.
In reality, he would have stayed in Philly because that was his best chance. I mean, going to the Heat, that was like going to play for the Heat was basically going in blind. You really don't know what you had there because that team before that year, they didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just think he believed in himself and being able to carry a team to the finals with young players like Duncan Robinson, like Tyler Hero, like all those guys. I think he truly believed that he was that good of a player that he could carry a team to the playoffs or to the finals and possibly win it. And look, he did it. He did it in a fake version. It's debatable. It's up there, but he believed in himself.
He had no injuries that year too. Mind you, that they had no significant injuries.
And yeah, maybe he would have had a better shot doing it here, but how far can a team like with Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid go? None of them are legitimate 3-point guys that can space a floor in 2021, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So how much success could have stemmed from that? Like, I don't think Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler would have ever been able to work because they're both the same guy. Only Jimmy has the jump shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was your guy to close out games. He's the guy.
He was 100% the closer.
Yeah, and that's what we were looking for. Someone that veteran guy who can close out games because it wasn't going to be JJ because of just how inconsistent he could be in the playoffs and how much of a defensive liability he became. Or always was, honestly. But now you can see Tobias Harris is. I don't want to say he's in that role right now because we
haven't seen him close out a game. Like, yeah, we've seen a couple this regular season against the Lakers earlier in the year. Like, we've seen it a couple times. We haven't seen it when the game mattered. Yeah, we haven't seen it when it mattered.
Yeah.
And if we lose games this year because our bench gives us minus 11 performances in the plus and minus category, and Tobias doesn't close out games for us because that's what we need, that's when you start looking at guys like that. That's when you start blowing it up. You blow up the roster because Joe and Ben did their job, but the people around them didn't. And I don't even know why I'm talking about that right now. So
Robert says Embiid is a closer. Yeah, but if Embiid gets double teamed, it's the second guy
triple teamed, quadrupled.
All 5 guys can be on him. He can be the closer when they're playing zone or whatever they're playing, but if I don't know, even man, but it's really the second guy who can shoot those threes. I mean, Embiid can shoot the 3, but he can't shoot it on a level like Tobias Harris can.
Yeah. That's why Damian Lillard would be fucking awesome on this team right now, but beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yep. Wow.
All right, I got a quick little conundrum before we end the show tonight. So my girlfriend, who I love dearly, she does not know a lick about sports, right? Like, she asked me earlier if the Lakers were a football team. Like, that's how bad it is. We're talking about, shopping or whatever earlier today, and she asked me about a Yankees hat. I liked Derek Jeter growing up, but I was never a Yankees fan. I was always pro Phillies, and especially once they beat us in the World Series in 2009. I hate Yankees fans. I hate Cowboys fans. I hate Lakers fans with a passion because all three of them are linked to casuals, you know?
Yeah.
And she's asking me, what do you think about this Yankees hat? It's the style. It's the fashion. It's the Visco look right now. And I'm like, dude, why can't you get that same hat only in Phillies?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, the Phillies logo is ugly. The Yankees logo is like really pretty, really cool, really cute. And I'm like, dude, if you wear that out in public, I'm not going to be with you. Like I'm not walking around with you in public while you have that Yankees hat on, because that's a violation. Exactly,
that is a violation.
It's a violation, right? And
Yeah.
we legitimately almost got into an argument over it. Am I making a big deal out of it, or am I like legit in saying?
I think it's absolutely justified. I mean, with the girl I'm talking with right now, she doesn't really know about sports that much, but she did point out that Embiid has nice pink shoes. I think that's definitely. I mean, you just got to teach her. Like, does she watch sports with you?
So
She's with you.
yeah. So what have we done so far? We went to a Sixers game. We went to the Sixers Oklahoma City game earlier in the year. I let her wear my TJ McConnell jersey.
Oh no!
I was wearing my Embiid jersey. She was wearing the McConnell jersey. So she knows a little bit more about basketball now. And another thing is she is from New York. So she's originally from Staten Island. So maybe the Yankees hat could be justified, but still, if we're going out in public to the fucking shopping center, you know, or we're going to, I don't know, Love Park in Philadelphia, and she's wearing a Yankees hat, I can't have that happen.
No,
right?
if you were to go in within like 100 feet of Citizens Bank Park with that, like
exactly,
you're gonna get shit thrown at you.
Yeah.
Our fans are fucking nuts. Our fans are fucking nuts.
Yeah, and I told her, it's literally just like it's my passion. Like Philadelphia sports are my passion. I love all four of the teams, and I hate all of our rivals. And New York is a freaking rivalry. So a rivalry sports town. So I can't be seen out in public with you wearing New York gear, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to a stadium. Because if we're going to a freaking Phillies game and you're wearing a Yankees hat, that's a no bueno. That's a no bueno.
Yeah.
So, dude, I wish I was Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Is that your girl?
Yeah, she's the one who likes the pink shoes. So
yeah, that was just my last point. I just wanted to get that out there. It was a little bit of a discussion. And she told me that most of the Cowboys fans that she knows, they're scumbags. And I tried telling her, well, look, most of the Cowboys fans that you know, they're not from fucking Dallas.
No.
So they're most likely Yankee fans.
Exactly.
So associate yourself with that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we both got to teach our girls, like, maybe we got to go on like a double date or something. Go to show them how it works.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't be wearing any Yankee stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, my girlfriend was wearing a Dodgers jersey, so it's kind of like just as bad.
Yeah, Dodgers fucking suck, dude.
It's just as bad.
Like the Dodger fans, they're almost as bad as the fake LA Laker fans. So yeah, I guess when I have kids, that's when I'll start drawing the line. But another thing is she
messed up when I was younger. I was almost a Lions fan. A Lions fan because I like.
Why you got to violate Don Don?
Sorry, Don Don, but like I really liked Matt Stafford and I like Calvin Johnson, obviously, but I really like that team and the Eagles. I was getting sick of the Eagles because they sucked. They sucked. I think it was the point after 2000. I think it was like 2012. Maybe it was. It was right when
we were like 3-13.
It was the year before they actually
the dream team year. The dream team year, right?
Yeah,
8-8.
With Schwartz and all that when he was there. Like it was the year before they made the playoffs. I was like, I kind of like this. I kind of like their colors. I like those. I mean, their location isn't the best, but like they're not like you can't hate them. Yeah. Like who goes out and says, "Oh, I hate the Detroit Lions." Like they're not the Cowboys, but I'm glad I got out of that phase and became a normal crazy
Normal
Eagles.
4-for-4 fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
for any other sport. I wasn't like that though. I was always 4-for-4 because you had the Phillies who were doing great. You had the Flyers who made the Cup Finals, and it was the Sixers were doing pretty good
Mhm.
with Iguodala and Drew Holiday and all them. But
It's always a fun ride being a Philly fan until the very end when your heart gets ripped out. But then our motto is there's always next year, you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Cowboy
boy,
fans,
that's the Cowboys. This is our year.
well, yeah, the Cowboy fans who are from Philly, they are very, very insecure people. Like when you ask them what part of Texas they're from, they kind of just freeze and you're like, oh, I've been a fan since Irving. I've been a fan since Emmett
Oh,
Smith.
no.
Fuck you, dude.
No, fuck off.
So
But
yeah, I'm totally out.
Jersey Dallas fans are the worst
Oh yeah,
because
it's not even close.
I
I mean the South Jersey New York Giants fans claiming that like I'm not gonna like say you're a
respect
liar.
that more though. I respect that a lot more
Yeah,
than
but I hate them. They talk
the
a lot
Philly
of
Dallas fans are bad too.
well yeah.
The Philly Dallas fans are bad because there's no rhyme or reason why you should be a Cowboys fan if you're living number one that far away and they've been irrelevant for the last 25 years. I mean, like props to you if you've been actually a legit fan for all those years, but like you can't go out and say, "Oh, the Eagles suck this and Eagles suck that," because like if you really look at it, they haven't done shit in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
They really haven't.
No. My fantasy football team last year, the name was 4 playoff wins in 24 years because at the draft I had like there was a Cowboy fan from Philly in the league and we were getting into it like at the draft talking about like the Cowboys Eagles. So then me being my petty self ended up naming my team 4 playoff wins in 24 years referring to the Dallas Cowboys. So
yeah, I mean, not to like, I just want to pat myself on the back because I did win fantasy football, as you know, and I just won fantasy basketball this year too. So I think
you're a future GM.
I think so.
That's what you're going to school for. So
yeah,
and
dude,
when you get hired,
I'm gonna be the next brand. I'm gonna be the next on brand.
No, you're gonna be more like Howie, a fucking nerd.
Oh yeah, oh my favorite. Let's go. I'll be a fan favorite, honestly.
Yeah.
Hackstar.
So yeah, I'm out on the Yankees hat. I gotta tell her that.
Yeah.
Me and the boys discussed it.
Discussed.
And I am out. Like you can buy whatever you want. I'm all for that. Just don't wear it when you're with me, please. Like you can wear it in the house. We're not wearing it out in public.
Oh no. My mom did something.
There we go. Here's a violation. When Evan was 5 and he played baseball, he was with the Atlanta Braves. I refused to allow him to wear the hat in public. Same when he was on the Mets a few years later. Mama don't raise fool. Hey, your mom raised you right.
I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of fall in love with the Mets like colors. And like I thought the hat was pretty cool, but
there we go.
I thought the hat was pretty cool, but yeah, I think I was a Phillies one year, so I think that was
no, it's okay because when I was younger, everybody, all of my family knew that like I was into sports and all, so they weren't really huge sports fans, so they just give me like jerseys of like popular players in the league. Like I had a Drew Brees jersey,
yeah,
like I had a Ricky Williams jersey for some reason. Like I had all these jerseys. That, like, dude, I'm 4-for-4. I don't want any of these teams, but like I was 5 years old. What was I gonna do? Not wear them?
Yeah, I had a LaDainian Tomlinson jersey. I'm trying to think of who I had beside. I think that's the only one I had, and a Stafford jersey. That's all I had. Those two.
I mean, obviously, I have a Colts jersey now for Carson, but that's something for another show.
Disgusting.
Mine's
still coming in the mail. It's just
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for us to go through.
It's all back order.
I mean, we'll figure out maybe replacements for the bet that you'll have to go through.
Back order.
Yeah, athletics. I just find it weird that you could be a fan of the Sixers, but you can't be a fan of the Eagles. Because I feel like all the teams are blended in a way.
Yeah.
Like
all the fans are the same. Like you can't it's so weird to be a fan, like especially with the New York and the Philly teams. I really don't get that at all. Like, how can you be a Flyers fan or a Phillies fan and then be like a Giants fan? Just like the cultures just don't mix. Like, I feel like if you go to one Phillies game or just, I mean, not even Phillies really, I'd say like Sixers or Eagles, like you'll really see the crowd crazy. Like if you ever wore something that wasn't the Eagles or the home team, you're not gonna be wearing the same shirt when you come out. It's not gonna be the same color. Whether it's snowballs or it's piss in a bottle, I really don't know.
And look, I'm gonna be 22 years old this year. I got my passion for like this field in general. Like I'm inspiring to be, sports podcast or sports radio, whatever you want to call it. And I've been listening to Anthony Gargano for years now, and he's the one that coined the phrase 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Like 3 for 4. You could do whatever the hell you want. Like I don't care like what you do, improved athletics, but it's just people are going to feel some type of way, and I know people just don't give a fuck about what other people think, which I'm totally okay with. But when you're a Sixers, Flyers, Phillies fan, but then you like the freaking Jets, like you don't think that's weird? Because there's people like that. So that's the only thing,
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be said. I just think that is a really weird thing, especially like just the kids. I think the Warrior. It really started with like the Warriors for our generation.
Yeah,
but you really see like after the Warriors didn't win a championship the one year, like there's no Warriors jerseys out right now. Like, when's the last time you've legit seen a Curry jersey out in public? It's for me, it's been a few years.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I find it weird. I find it weird in Prove Athletics. It's weird to be a fan of somebody outside of your city if you're not from that city. Like I can understand you being a fan of a player, but
I don't like LeBron fans. Like,
all right, yeah, LeBron is a different polarizing thing,
I hate LeBron fans.
Yes, exactly what Benny just said. NBA has more fan over team or player over team per se, which is weird because I like a lot of guys in the NBA. I like Russell Westbrook. I liked LeBron. I like Luka.
I just can't wrap my head around of how you can like support one team after the other when that guy leaves. A lot of the Heat fans did stay, and that's what they are right now. But like after he left and all that,
yeah.
But it's so odd to me how people can just go from liking this team to this team all of a sudden. It's really weird.
Yeah,
and that's why the Sixers are very great because they built this from the ground up. They don't need like the Nets. They don't need to bring in $1 million players, but because like all our guys are really homegrown. Besides Tobias Harris, it's really how it is.
Yeah, and
like
then
our stars are homegrown.
Tyrese Maxey is going to be a legit 2 guard, but we're going to need to figure that out once he starts playing with Ben. There we go. Look, Carson Wentz delivered us a Super Bowl. Second year into the league. We were a pitiful organization for over 50 years. And right when this guy comes into the league, second year, without him, we don't have a Super Bowl. That's why he holds a special place in my heart. And the way that our organization did him dirty, it just rubs me off a certain type of way. So I'm going to support him wherever he goes. Now, if the Colts and the Eagles ever play in the Super Bowl and Carson Wentz is the quarterback of the Colts, I'm cheering for the Eagles. Nobody get that twisted. I'm cheering for the Eagles because I'm an Eagles fan first.
Yep.
Hypocrite.
Oh,
Okay.
he's a
I just explained myself. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to have a fucking camera in my house?
He
When the
didn't
fucking
listen. He
Colts
turned
and
down the
Eagles
volume.
play?
He turned down the volume.
I will record my reaction to the fucking Colts versus the Eagles when it happens, and I will explain to you. I will show you guys that I'm cheering for the Eagles, even though I hate it. But it's whatever. Whatever you want to say. Improve athletics. Before we get off, we got to give our game 2 predictions, which is Wednesday, and then our game 3 predictions, which is Saturday, and then we will be on at the end of the game 4 on Monday. We start at 9:30. Game starts at 7, so we'll be coming on right for the post game or whatever. So, what do you think happens in game 2 coming up Wednesday?
Game 2, home game. What time is this one at?
7.
7:30 on Wednesday. I think it'll be very similar to the first game.
Really?
I do think that. I think Russell Westbrook will have a little bit better of a game. I'm pretty sure. I don't even think he had 15 points because
I don't think he did either.
he didn't even have 15 points. It didn't have the rebounds or the assists. So I'd probably say a 12 to 15 point victory.
Okay.
I'll probably say 10 to 15.
Okay.
Say Sixers win 110, maybe 110 to 120. I feel like it's gonna be another one of those games.
Yeah, I totally disagree. I think it's going to be a rout. I think the Sixers got the rust off after the first half of game 1. I think they're going to come out swinging, and I don't think they're going to stop. I think this game's going to be a 125 to a 92 piece.
Wow.
I don't think the starters will be playing in the fourth quarter.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So I think game 2 is going to be a complete rout. Game 3, on the other hand, in Washington, I think that's going to be a little bit more of a battle. I think that's going to be a lower scoring game.
Yeah.
Scores 30. Of course, we got to throw that in there just to ruin
Yeah.
that.
Hey, you never know.
I was on my high horse, and then all I see is Courtois scored 30.
I'm down. Get him down.
Yeah, I think game 3, which will be Saturday, so it'll be weekend game, 7 o'clock start again. I think that game will be a little closer. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game in the opener in Washington. And I think we're going to win a hard-fought game, game 3. I think I'll call that 105-100.
Now for the back to game 1 real quick, or game 2 real quick. What do you want from Ben?
I want him to play exactly the way he played yesterday. If he gives me a few more points, then I'll give him a few more claps. But I'm perfectly okay with him putting up the exact prototypical game that he put up yesterday.
Because before the playoffs start, we talked about our expectations and what we thought Ben should deliver to the team. And we were both saying over 15 points. But, of course, the 15 assists and the 15 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds was very important to our win.
And only 2 turnovers.
And only 2. Come on, you're pushing it. But you're pushing it. I'm being a little too nice right now. But yeah, that was an important part. But that's why I think it's going to be a little bit similar, is because I don't think Ben will have that game where he absolutely goes off on the offensive side. But I think he will have. All right, I'm going to ask you this one question. Do you think he has more assists or points in this next game?
Well, time out. But before I answer that, what did we expect? Joe to give us 35, right? Tobias to give us 25.
25.
So that's 60 right there. And then Ben to give us 15. That adds up to 75 points. So on yesterday, they combined to score 73. Right?
Yep.
So what are we talking about here? Our big 3 gave us exactly what we expected them to. 2 points less. So
we were saying 15 from. Okay, all right.
So,
But-
but total, we're expecting
Tobias
75.
is
And
Tobias.
Tobias isn't going to give us that again.
He's not gonna.
But if there's a route, that means Danny Green went off. That means Ben Simmons went off. That means Seth Curry went off.
Mhm.
That means fucking George Hill gave you 25.
How much did Danny Green have? Do you know? Did he have more than 10?
He was 3 for 4 from 3. I know that, and he definitely scored in double digits.
And
I
then
don't
Curry
know
had 15. Okay, we'll
So-
see. We'll see. But for the second game, I agree with you on this one. I think it will be really close. I don't even think it will
In game 3,
be in the hundreds. Yeah, I really don't think. I don't think it'll be in the hundreds. I think it really depends on too is Joel Embiid. Like if they get him fouling early, then that's when the game's gonna be a lot closer than everyone thinks. But if he doesn't foul, I mean the Sixers are home free, and that's usually going to be a pretty sizable win.
Boozy Sports. In all seriousness, I don't like the 0 for 6 from the line. I think you need to give us at least 4 from 6 if you're shooting 6 free throws, because that's close to 70%. But at the end of the day, he made up for the 0 for 6. At the end of the day, we won by 8 points. At the end of the day, you give us 15 assists, 7 offensive rebounds, and you essentially shut down Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. So, yeah, exactly what I just said. You read my mind.
Yeah.
I never want to see 0 for 6 again. Yeah, 0 for 6, if you're looking at the stat sheet, that's a glaring number. But if you're watching the game straight up, we'll see. And Benny, I do agree. Joel will have a bigger impact on game 2, and that's why I think it's going to be a rout.
Because I think after he fouled, 3 before the half or something like that, he was playing a little more cautious.
Lackadaisical,
If he doesn't play cautious, he's the MVP, honestly. So we'll see how it goes.
So come Monday night after game 4, we'll be on. We'll be immediate post-game reaction to that. We'll either be in Sweep City or we'll be preparing you guys for game 5. But until Monday night, I think we will be up 3-0 come Monday night. And we'll see what happens there.
I agree. Yep.
All right, boys. It was a fun show. Thank you to Improved Athletics for chiming in a lot. Betty's Nation, as always. Boozy Sports towards the end. Mr. Wing, of course. Benny Nation, I think I already said it. Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, thank you for chiming in tonight.
Jimmy's girlfriend. There's
yeah.
girlfriend. Bimmy.
Yep. Pop, we always appreciate you. Yep, Mr. Wing. We'll see you guys next Monday. Go Sixers.
Sir.
Let's go.
Go on.